Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the 2024 LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar. Like all other Advent calendars this year, this one retails for $45 or so. Really expensive in my opinion, but you can get it cheaper if you are a member at Costco or Sam's Club. They generally do have them for less, or you can of course wait until they hit clearance at some point. And obviously it's 24 days of gifts. And we have seen this now for several years, I think all the way from 2011. So it's been a long time. This is our newest rendition. So let's talk about it. First up, just with the box design, I personally don't really care for it. I liked, I think it was 2 years ago was my favorite one. But this one is just kind of meh. I mean, it gets repetitive after a while. I do like the bow that they've added to them to make them very Christmassy. But yeah, this one is just, it's like another like Hoth type scene. So for me, I don't know, I think they could maybe do something different. So let's go ahead and get right into everything. I've kind of got them split off into different types like I did last year. I think that that's a kind of a good way to go through them. So we'll check that out. We're going to hop around the camera to do the rest of the video, and then we'll finish up with my final thoughts. All right, so here is everything as a whole, but I do want to go ahead and split these up into parts to better show off all of the mini builds, and we'll do the minifigures last. All right, these are in no particular order based on the day, but we do get a loose land speeder, and again, we've gotten this one a million times. I will say with this calendar, the ones that are repetitive for the most part, we have gotten a bazillion times, with a few exceptions of some nice redos, but here is the land speeder, and I don't hate it. Looks like this one specifically is Luke and C-3PO. I appreciate that each year they do a new take on it, and I feel like, again, this one was made with quite a substantial amount of pieces to make a really nice micro build. The engines maybe look a little bit off to me, but yeah, definitely one we've gotten before many a time. Following that trend, we have another AT-AT. I do not particularly like this one, but I feel like it's actually kind of stable. I don't know. There's something about it that I'm not a huge fan of, but it definitely, I think, gets across the message that it's an AT-AT, and we've gotten a lot of those before, so it's kind of just like pick your rendition at this point. Which one do you like more? So there's him. Here we are again, still on that same trend of we've gotten this a million times. This is the Luke's X-Wing, and I will say that this year they did it differently. I actually like this X-Wing. It seems a lot more proportional to the other builds this year. I know sometimes those X-Wings get really large in order to help do the X-foils, so I think that it looks pretty good. And one really fun note, to me this looks like the original like 1999 X-Wing release. It's got some of that tan and gray, and I think it's supposed to be a throwback to the old X-Wing. That's my thought, and I will share a little bit more on why. Because our TIE Fighter also has the unique early years coloring with that blue and black and gray. I definitely think that both of them together are a throwback to the old X-Wing and TIE Fighter, and I really like that the LEGO team was thinking about that when they were doing their designs for this year's mini models. I think they look great together. I really like them. I mean, you could even set them up in a little diorama. Here is the Razor Crest, and I'm not particularly crazy about this one. I generally am not a huge fan of the Razor Crest builds. I don't recall it having yellow sides though, which threw me off, and maybe it's just because it's been a long time since I've looked at the Razor Crest, but that seems really wrong to me. Anyways, you could definitely get along on what the build is supposed to be, so I appreciate that. But again, at this point, I think this is our third one. I might be wrong, but yeah, we've gotten them quite a bit. Here we have a Y-Wing, and surprisingly enough, this is actually only the second rendition from what I was able to tell. I like that little silver stud to represent the astromech droid, and I think that this, although a little bit skinny, is a good representation of the Y-Wing. I think that you could either make it really flat and bulky, or you can make it a little bit smoother with the more similar shapes and skinnier, and that's what they've done this year. I don't hate it. I really don't. I think it looks kind of neat, and I think that when you compare it with the X-Wing, they are similar in scale. Here we have the Emperor's shuttle, and again, we've gotten this model before. This one, though, is gray. Actually, that makes me think that this is not the shuttle I'm thinking of. This is, I think, the episode 3 shuttle. Yeah, it just occurred to me that that's what this is. Anyways, I think we've gotten this one as well. I'd have to double check now because I was thinking it was the other shuttle, but I think it actually conveys pretty well. I mean, it doesn't stand well. It falls forward, and then the wings don't. They just look kind of chunky when they're folded up. But in flight mode, I think it looks really good. We get another Millennium Falcon. Honestly, at this point, I feel like it would be a disappointment if an advent calendar year came without a Millennium Falcon. This one is a much thicker build than some of the years past that we've seen, but I like it. I think that the hyperdrive engines are a little bit like chunky, like they stick too far out, but I like that it has almost this like little built-in base at the bottom. And I think that the cockpit is fine. And they've just, I mean, at this point, I'd like to see somebody's collection of mini Falcons because there's so many. I like this one. I really do. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, these last three are my favorite builds, I think, of these older ships or reused ships. And Jabba's sail barge is so good in this rendition, in my opinion. I love the sails. I think that they convey super well. The angles on this also look really good for a micro build. We're supposed to be getting a UCS sail barge coming soon. No pictures revealed yet, but I definitely think that this was fitting to add into the advent calendar for this year. Really, really cute. This was one I was not expecting to see so soon again. This is Darth Vader's castle, and I don't have a direct comparison with me as I'm reviewing this, but I like this one, and I think I might like it more than the original one. I think that they've cleaned it up a bit, and it's very simple, and there's just no mistaking what it is. Well, I say that, but the original one came with a mini micro TIE fighter too, so I actually think that I like that one more. But still a good interpretation of Darth Vader's castle and not too overused at this point. And then we have the Ghost. This is another good one, and we've gotten another Ghost before, and I honestly don't know which one I like better. I like the coloring on this one, and I guess maybe it looks more redesigned like the new one versus the Rebels one. I don't know. Here are the back. I kind of wish that they had some like engine flare on them, but overall, definitely you can tell what it is, and it's a fun, cute little build. I like it quite a bit. All right, so overall from all of those builds, I think they did a really good job. Whoever designed this LEGO calendar this year, I think they really spent their time trying to pack as many pieces into each little build. And the ones that we have seen before, I think all of these, I have to double check, but just on my initial impression, I think all of these are better than the other ones released before, and I think that that's actually pretty rare to say for an advent calendar, so I'm really pleased with our repeats this year. Hopping right into the brand new mini sets for this year, and we have the Jedi T6 shuttle, and I love the idea for it. You can definitely tell in certain angles what it is. I think maybe it's a little bit wide, like the shaping of it is just a tad bit off to me, but it is the first rendition of it, and I'm sure it'll improve if they keep doing these calendars and we get another one. But I really like this. I love that they included a T6 shuttle, especially because we got one last year, a new updated one. This one definitely looks like the Clone Wars coloring for sure, but I like it a lot. Very fitting for this year, we get a Venator class cruiser. I love it. It seems really big for an advent calendar build. I mean, like, look how long that plate is. I'm really impressed by that. And I think it looks great. Really good. And this one here, I was super surprised to see. This one is the Crimson Firehawk, which is a Young Jedi Adventures 4+ set ship. And I actually really like it. I built it. I was like, oh my gosh, look, it's a little one. I really like that LEGO tied that in. I know that the Young Jedi Adventures isn't like particularly beloved. And as LEGO collectors, people don't really care for them. I am out of the ordinary. I love the show. My son watches the show. I love the little minifigures. We have some of the toys. I think it's a really cute little show. So it is fun to see the Crimson Firehawk in a micro build like this. I really like that. I don't know if we'll get another one ever because I'm not sure it's that popular of a ship / a show, so it's nice to at least have one. Okay, and then this one I think is the U-Wing, if I'm not mistaken, and this is a first time build. I think that it conveys really well. I love the 4 engines in the back. Look really nice. You can tell what it is, and I like it. Little, and I'm surprised that they did not do this the year of Rogue One. That actually really surprises me. So here we are. Yoda's Jedi Starfighter was one of those that as I was constructing it, I'm like, what the heck is this? Until I put on the final dome, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Yoda's Jedi Starfighter. This one is so cute. I love the angle of it. This is a first time ship. We have R2-D2 in the top, and that lime green piece behind is supposed to represent Yoda, I believe, and it looks great. I think this is a hilarious little interpretation. I would love to see them do more little starfighters. I know we've gotten them in the past for different ones, but I'd like to see them do like several. This is our first Yoda one, and it definitely is super cute. This one is my least favorite. This one is the Mandalorian Gauntlet ship, I believe, and I just don't think that they were able to get the fronts of these looking very nice, personally. You can kind of tell what it is, but I remember building it and thinking I knew what it was, and then I was like, wait, is that what it is? And I had to look on Bricklink just to confirm. I do like the trans blue windshield there. It's like really, really vivid for some reason to me. And anyways, I think that, yeah, it is, because like, look at the comparison between what we normally get. Kind of unusual, I think. Other than that, though, the back is good, but yeah, the front I just don't think quite is as convincing. And then we have a fun build. This is our first ever LEGO official mini build for a mini kit. It actually surprises me. I had to look this up. I thought that for sure they had done one of these in an advent calendar, and they haven't. So very fun play to the mini kits of the LEGO Star Wars games. And I definitely don't think I'm going to disassemble this one. I don't know. Overall, I really like these builds this year. But this one is so fun. I just love that. All right, and starting out with the minifigures. First, with the most boring, is the new designed Super Battle Droid. Great to have another one. I always like that advent calendars offer the opportunity for some sort of Battle Droid or Super Battle Droid, though they do take up a minifigure spot. So it's a cheap way for LEGO to be like, yeah, see all the minifigures we included? Nonetheless, very nice. Then we get this fella, and I've immediately forgotten the name of him off the top of my head, but we got him in a very, very recent larger scale battle pack. I don't quite know what you call it. It combined with the battle pack for this year, and they look pretty cool. They're like Praetorians, and they come with this little staff, and that's basically all I have to say about them. I mean, not my favorite figure ever, but like kind of cool and great to just add a third one to the display. Then we get another 501st Trooper, and it's honestly a pretty boring choice, but I guess I can't even remember what came out this year for Clone Trooper battle packs. It's fine. I mean, you can never really have too many clones at this point, so you can't really knock that. They always throw in one of these at this point, I think. And every year, for some reason, LEGO seems to take a moderately valued minifigure from a set that only came with one and throw it in the advent calendar and then just tank the value of that. I mean, for some people, they're not going to care, but like, I really do not need another Ahsoka. I have two, and I like them, and they go with sets, but I do not need this Ahsoka. I mean, I guess it's great if you're just picking up the advent calendar and you missed out all the other times that Ahsoka came out. You have one now. I mean, that was me last year with Omega, because she was in a very expensive set that I did not want, and so that worked out for me. This will probably work out for somebody this year, but it's just not my favorite choice personally for a minifigure for this advent calendar. And now, finally, the main reason that most people buy these advent calendars is for these holiday sweater figures that have become very popular and expected as of late. This one is Princess Leia. She comes with a pink coffee mug and a Hoth sweater. I don't know. I feel like maybe she should have had like a Bouche sweater, or maybe a Han Solo sweater, or something else. I mean, she's important in the Hoth scene, but like, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right sweater for her personally. I do like getting that updated Leia face. It looks so nice. And the hairpiece. There is the back. There we are. Really cute little figure. And then we have Luke Skywalker, and his sweater is very fitting. It is Tatooine, and it's not only Tatooine, but it's red and green. And to me, it's sort of funny that it's red here, because it almost looks like, you know, how the stormtroopers came by and like set everybody on fire. And yeah, it's like his house is on fire, sort of. That's kind of morbid, but nonetheless, it's Luke Skywalker in his new hair from Return of the Jedi. We know that because he has a gloved hand. And there is a Jawa sandcrawler on the back that looks super, super, super cute. I really like that. Anyways, yeah, the main reason that people get this calendar is for those figures. Although I will say this year, I think that the mini builds really, really did a good job. I'm very pleased with them. So let's flip it around for the final thoughts. Overall, I actually think that I liked this year better than I was going to. Some of the builds to me just seemed really, really good. And as I mentioned before, I feel like they used a lot more pieces for a lot of the builds. And I never double checked that, but that's at least what it came across during the building experience, was that the advent calendar builds were a lot more substantial than in years past. I think there was a decent selection of brand new ships, and I really liked seeing them. We got no useless weapon racks, which is wonderful. Everything is a mini build to a ship or place or a really cool thing. The minifigure selection is pretty good. I like that we got a super battle droid this year instead of just a battle droid. Anyways, guys, Definitely wait for this to go on sale for sure, but it's actually a pretty good calendar. I think that it has a lot of really fun micro builds if you're into that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and until next time, I will catch you guys later. Bye.